Warning, this is a pest control video and contains images of grey squirrels being dispatched. Hello and welcome to Midland Squirrel Hunter. So it's a bit of a drab December morning. Me and Dan have decided to come out to a part of the woodland that you'll know already from our previous video, the rookery. Dan's down at the tower. You've had a lot of activity on trail cameras. I've not had so much up here, but Dan has down at the tower. So we'll come out for a little shoot up here and we might go for a mooch about as well. Before I go any further in the video, I just want to say a massive thank you to Terry from TA Hunters. So if you're going to check his channel out, he's a real seasoned squirrel hunter. He's been doing it a long time, like myself, Steve and Dan. Yes, we've got some real good content. I spent the day with him yesterday down on a few of his permissions. Really productive day. We went topping up some of his feeders. We set up a feeder and a pop-up hide. So the pop-up hide he's set up, I do believe he's going to be releasing some content on that with him and his brother-in-law doing a shoot on the greys. So keep your eyes out for that. And again, thanks a lot, Terry. Really do appreciate that, mate. So as I say, I'm down at the rookery today. I'm going to get into the hide now, get set up and get ready for some greys to come in. As usual, I'm shooting the FX Impact Mark II 2.2. Same setup I've had in the last two grey shooting videos. That's just because of the recording equipment. I am looking at getting another recording scope for the DRS. It's just I'm really mindful of adding weight to that gun because it's my stalking gun, so I don't want to make it too heavy. But yeah, I'll get into the hide now, get set up, hopefully get a few. Right, so I'm in the hide now. Rifle's set up on the tripod, scope's turned on, magazine's loaded, coffee cup's fully loaded, which is the most important thing. I'm going to try and settle down now, see if we get any activity. The crow scarer's going off every 10 to 15 minutes, goes off 3 times in a row, just to keep the crows from the crop, which is driving them up here. But yeah, it's just part and parcel of it, so the greys are probably used to it by now anyway. Dan's even closer to it, he's down on the tower. He had quite a lot of activity on his trail camera, so hopefully he bags a few as well, get you a bit of footage. So yeah, I'm just going to quieten down now and get my eye on the scope. Quick update, Dan's had his first one. I literally just took my coat off, having a swig of coffee, and I got the code word, 1 down, so he's in. Yeah, hopefully I can catch him up. You say I've only just got here really, I've only just set up, done that short video, and yeah, fortunately he's had one, so he should have quite a busy day. His trail camera's showing a lot of activity. I'm going to quieten down now because I need to go on myself, just to go with level pegging. So I have just seen a grey, it was on the tree but about 3 meters away from the feeder. It's turned around and ran up the tree. I don't know, something might have spooked it, but I'm pretty sure it'll be back. They're very food orientated. I've been here about 15 minutes, had a message from Dan, he's already had one, so that's a good start for Dan. I'm just going to quieten down now, get back on the scope because I'm pretty sure that this one's going to come back in. Well, there's the first one down then, so a really good start to the morning. As I say, Dan's had one. That's my first one down, so I'm not going to go out and retrieve, just leave it, because I do find it disturbs the area if you keep going out to retrieve the squirrels. The only time I will tend to go out is if I was unsure on a shot, or if it's causing any distress to the other squirrels that are visiting. And you can always tell this by either a bark or a tail twitch. So you see the squirrel flicking its tail backwards and forwards, and as I say, barking a lot of the time. And as you will have seen on the last video, they do get very territorial, so dragging the other one across the floor, there's all sorts of behaviour really. It can be quite comical at times to see. But yeah, I'm going to quieten back down, and hopefully we'll get number 2. The clip that's about to follow is Dan's first grey of the day. Well, we've had another update from Dan. I've had quite a few to be honest, but yeah, he's got his heated socks on for a start, and I imagine that his hide will be like Ibiza because he'll have his heater on as well, full belt, about 30 degrees in there. But he's had 3 squirrels, so that's really good. I'll put the footage into the video. It's not looking very promising for me up here, to be honest. I've only had the 1, and it has been quite quiet. The weather's lifted quite a bit now, so I'm going to drop him a message, see if he wants to stay for a little bit longer in the hide he's in, or we could potentially go for a stalk round, because there's quite a few pigeons that have been a pest in some of the barns, or we could get onto another feeder because we have multiple feeders on this estate. We also have the shed as well, so we could go there. There's 2 feeders at the shed, one at the hatch and one at the door. You can see that briefly on our introduction video. I will try and get a bit more content of around that area as well. It's just been a little bit of work going on around there, so we try not to disturb too much for the gamekeeper's sake. Yeah, so I'll drop Dan a message, probably wrap up here, walk down, see what he wants to do. With his heater burning more gas than a North Sea oil rig and his socks turned up to 4 bars, I'd say Dan was pretty comfortable when he took these last 2 squirrels out. In this clip, Dan did inform me that there was a muntjac roughly 5 metres away from the feeder to the right hand side, which left him questioning whether the squirrel would approach the feeder. As you see just before the shot's taken, the squirrel does appear to be a little bit spooked, looking over to the right after a few footsteps are heard, resulting in Dan taking the earlier shot. Very wise decision, as the result was a clinical dispatch of the grey. As you've witnessed, I've not really had much success on this feeder today, but that's not a bad thing, and one's better than none, I suppose. But yeah, it's not a bad thing in the sense of it shows that the job we're doing is actually working. So this area, since the last video we did, which was a day on the greys, where I took 3 from here, Dan took 2 from the tower. I've had probably a further 5 with today's, that'll be 6. So that's quite a big number for us in an area like this, because fortunately there are 3 of us that do the squirrel management in these woodlands. So we're able to keep on top of it. We do use trail cameras all the time. We come to the feeders maybe every other day or every 3 days. So we're quite active up here, and we know what's going on. So we can keep on top of it. We don't take massive numbers. We only really get that when we establish a new feeder. We'll probably draw a big number in then, or if we leave an area for a long time. I'm probably going to leave this one for a while. We'll keep a camera up here. I'll keep coming to top up with feed. We will keep an eye on it. But until we see the activity increase, we won't shoot this. So yeah, I'm going to top this up now, head down to Dan, see if he wants to stay in his hide, or we'll go for a stalk around, maybe get on another feeder, try and get a little bit more content, and hopefully I can try and bag another grey. I have been fortunate, I've been out for quite a few days and had quite a few, but I've not really gone about the means of filming anything or making any content for that. So yeah, just the luck of the draw, I suppose. So I've just come down to the tower where Dan is in his hide. He's had a really good morning. I've got his 3 squirrels here. He's already stinched them up. He's just putting his gun away, turning his heated socks off. While he's doing that, I'm just going to stinch my measly one up. Get this on here because the man that makes the carriers has unfortunately left mine at home. So I'll get this one on, and then I think we're just going to go for a bit of a walk round and we'll make it up as we go along. So that's them 4 on there, nice and sturdy. Well, me and Dan have decided now that we're going to call it a day. We've had a bit of a stalk around. There's not really much about, to be honest. The weather's picked up quite a bit, the fog's lifted, but we're both froze to the bone. So we have said, yeah, we'll call it at this. So squirrels are in the back of the Jeep, all stinched up. They're ready to go off to the owl keeper. We're going to get our kit put away. Hope you've enjoyed the video. If you have, make sure to like and subscribe, and we'll see you again on the next one.
Thank you for taking the time to watch our video. Please make sure to like and subscribe, and thank you for all the continued support and encouragement from our Instagram page @Midland Squirrel Hunter.